This Friday could be big for XRP, for Ethereum, for Cardano, for HBAR, for XLM, a lot of the top altcoins, Bitcoin included here, guys. And I want to get into why, because we've got an important thing coming up this Friday as it relates to the macro. And we know every single time Jerome Powell takes the stage, the spotlight shines bright right now as we await interest rate cuts in September. Hopefully we get them. But Jerome Powell is set to deliver a critical speech this week outside the scope of cutting the interest rates. But we could glean a lot from it. It could affect the crypto market. And I want to tell you exactly what we know right now, and we'll stay locked in on this for you. Make sure you guys are locked into this channel. Hit the like button right now. Let's run this baby up. I want to make sure everybody's informed, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Fed Chair Jerome Powell faces a critical dilemma, guys, ahead of his Jackson Hole speech on Friday. Citibank director and global economist Robert Sockin told Bloomberg Surveillance that the impact of higher tariffs on inflation is becoming worrisome to Jerome Powell, and that recent labor market data raises the possibility of a September rate cut. Here's to hoping we get one. Now, Sockin noted that it was difficult for Powell to establish a clear direction in his speech, saying Powell's currently under political pressure. There's no doubt about that. There's a lot of data to be released before the September meeting. Therefore, it's unlikely he will lean strongly in one direction or the other. But we'll see what happens this Friday. The Economist stated that the Fed will prioritize growth in the coming period despite rising inflation. Sockin said, "We expect core inflation to reach 3% by the end of the year. While this rate is above target, the Fed may implement a few interest rate cuts to support growth against the risk of a recession." Sockin also highlighted the slowdown in the labor market and the supply-demand imbalance, predicting Powell would highlight this issue in his speech. So the markets could get a little volatile toward the end of the week. However, he stated that the Fed wouldn't be greatly bothered by inflation hovering around 2.25% or 2.5%. According to Sockin, Powell's Jackson Hole speech will be, quote, more of a cautious assessment of the economic outlook than the surprise. The likelihood of rate cuts will largely depend on the trajectory of inflation and the impact of trade policies in the coming months. So it's clear we're not out of the woods yet with tariffs. It feels as if the market priced them in for a while. Now they're back on the table, and the markets don't seem to know which direction to go. And it's kind of crazy when we think about that and consider it, because we're still absolutely crushing it. Bitcoin just set a new all-time high last week. Ethereum's closing in on its all-time high. XRP's come up and got really close to its all-time high. Solana earlier on in the cycle and BNB set their new all-time highs. But yet we're still waiting for liquidity to really return to this market. And I do think we're closer now than ever from getting a rate cut. I think we're going to get not one, probably two minimum by the end of the year. And when that happens, the institutional demand that we've been seeing should meet the retail interest. And it should also align perfectly with more clarity in crypto through the Clarity Act and ETFs. And we could get that Q4 rally that we've been waiting for. So here's to hoping we get some good news coming up on Friday. Jerome Powell, again, set to deliver a critical speech this week. It could affect the market, and that's what we know right now. Here's what I know. I'm not going anywhere, and you need to sign up for the free newsletter so you stay locked in. I'm going to be giving you guys a bunch of peeks behind the curtain in terms of what's in the portfolio, moves I'm making, etc. Got you covered. Make sure you guys sign up for the free newsletter. Link down below in the description, and we'll see you guys in the next video.